Here's what Shadow Energy Minister Dan Tehan said earlier today. This was after that meeting I mentioned.
We had a number of colleagues here this morning, I think 25 or 30, who all came together because they want to have this conversation. The deep concern in the room is that we're just going to see energy prices increase exponentially under this government. There is so much that we've united on that it is going to make it a lot easier for me to be able to come up with a position which is in Australia's national interest.
Bronwyn, I'm hearing nothing, and we'll come back to Holly in a second, but I'm hearing nothing that fills me with confidence that the Liberal Party understand that if they want to win the next election, they have to dump net zero. 3 words.
Yes, they do. But they also have to explain what that means. So you've got to say, we'll keep the coal-fired power stations going. We will stop rewiring the nation, i.e. duplicating the grid. That's costing $1.3 trillion off budget. That's debt in addition to the $1 trillion on budget. We can't afford all of that and then defend the nation. It is just not possible. So we have to say that cheap electricity, we can't afford to subsidise every goddamn industry to keep it in the country. So we have to abandon net zero, and we have to say we will use our resources in this country to deliver cheap power. Listen to breakfast radio every morning. They'll tell you, 5% from wind and 6% from whatever and 80% from coal. The reality is that this country is running on coal, and indeed it will continue to do so. So unless truth is embraced, and it's a simple, straightforward statement that people can comprehend. I understand what Holly is saying about legislation, but people don't.
You ditch net zero, and that's a political win, and it's a win for the entire nation. But I want to ask you both about something else which I found extremely disturbing, and that's a 2-word slogan: joy division. Now, that 2-word slogan, the moment I saw that photo of Anthony Albanese coming down the steps from a very successful international meeting, he knew he would be photographed, he knew he would be there, wearing a T-shirt with the words joy division. Now, I am a great rock and roll fan, as viewers know. I immediately almost threw up when I saw that image. I was sickened, Bronwyn. What did you make of it?
I looked at it in disgust. Disgust is the only word I can think of.
And I wholeheartedly support Susan Lee. Have a listen to this, Holly.
No, sorry,
your colleagues supporting your call for an apology from the Prime Minister over the T-shirt?
I don't take a backward step on my comments, and I don't know that people realise that the Prime Minister, in wearing the T-shirt, was well aware of the dark history behind the words on the T-shirt.
Why aren't they supporting your call?
We do need to go.
Was it a captain's call?
So, Holly, I'd love your thoughts, and also your thoughts on some of your former colleagues, such as Tim Wilson, and even Susan Lee's deputy seem to be reluctant to condemn Albanese over that repulsive T-shirt. Holly.
This is a man who's supposed to be the leader of our country. There's an expression, dress for the job you want, not the job you've got. Well, maybe we need to send him back out on the road and he can go DJing again. It was absolutely a disgraceful misjudgment. I think Susan Lee's 100% right on this. I do think there's a couple of my former colleagues who like to get their names in the headlines just for disagreeing, not because they've got anything of substance to say. I think Susan's 100% correct to call it out.
Now, Bronwyn, just before we go, Prince Andrew, they're going to go for him. They've stripped him of every title. They've stripped him of this and they've stripped him of that. What did you make of the King's actions towards his younger brother?
I think he had no choice but to proceed. Once those emails started to come out, he was placed in the position where he had to act. And he is acting as the king, not as a brother. And kingship does bring with it different responsibilities. In terms of the king and his actions, I really don't think he had any option.
Holly Hughes and Bronwyn Bishop, always great to chat to you both.